Hi, and welcome back to Farmstead MTG. So, since last we've spoken, I've traveled to Denmark and I actually attended 2 tournaments. And this is the video series of the first one. So, this series is called Going Green, and the reason is I played a green deck in the first tournament, and there are 2 reasons for that. The first reason is that my wife traveled with me, but she could only play the Saturday event. After that she had to go home to take the kids. So to make it a good experience for her, I made a very good deck for her, the Lion the Bolt deck, and that took away all my power. So all I had left was a green Mox. So the second reason is I really like the challenge of playing a budget deck in a very spiky environment. So it's always cool, like you feel you are battling an uphill battle, and this channel is one of the reasons is to get people into old school, but the prices are really expensive when it comes to the higher end cards. So I want to try to show that you can play a budget deck and do okay. So hopefully I'll get some wins. So before we take a look at the deck, I want to plug the awesome the one who held the tournament. I can't find the word now, but it is Team Tron. They have a Twitch account. You should check that out. I will put the link down in the comments below. So let's take a look at my green deck. And here is my fantastic green deck. It has a little splash of black in the sideboard, but I will come back to that later. And of course I forgot to put the Mox Emerald in the picture, but yeah, one of the first is Mox. So you want to start out, the ideal start is that you have a Llanowar Elf or a Elves of the Deep Shadow and play that first, and then the next turn you have 3 mana. Then you can cast an Ice Storm to disrupt your opponent, and disruption is really a key here in the start, because if this bigger better decks get started, you're pretty screwed. So therefore I play with 4 Ice Storm, I play with Crumble, I play with a Chaos Orb, and I have 2 main decks sit in a bottle, and I also have 4 Scavenger Folk. You can sacrifice those to destroy artifacts. And in the current metagame there are a lot of robot decks, so that's what I'm afraid of. So I have a lot of answers for that. And I'm going to try to mana screw my opponent. Instead of deploying creatures and getting early damage, I want to try to control the game a bit. I have 10 creatures on the second row. They're all flying creatures, and they can be pumped with a Pendelhaven and a Giant Grove, so those can do a lot of damage. I decided to go for 4 Argothian Pixies just because of the robot metagame, and Triskelion is a really big problem for this deck. So the Triskelion can't take out the Pixies, so that's a good thing. Of course, for Mishra's Factory, you play those in all decks. As for the sideboard, I have the 4th Crumble, I have 3 Tarot, and Sarah Angel is like public enemy number 1 for this deck, because I can't raise it because it has vigilance, so I need an answer for those big creatures. So Terror is an awesome choice there. You have the Maze of It for you can use it against mid-range decks to stop their big creatures, or you can use them offensively, attacking with 5 small dudes. They block one of them with their big dude, and I use the mace to remove my attacker, and then the other 4 gets through, so that's a cool trick. I have 4 Whirling Dervish. They are of course good against black decks, but they're also good against Abyss because they have protection from black. So I will bring those in if I'm afraid of the Abyss. Speaking of Abyss and Moat, there are 2 Tranquilities. Yeah, yeah, I guess they're necessary. And I have 1 Desert if I meet another aggressive deck. That can become handy. So through the matches I will show you how I sideboarded, and I'm really looking forward to your input on what I did right, what I did wrong, and all that. So yeah, this is the deck. Let's check out round number 1. And round number 1 will come out in the next video. So this was just a little intro, a teaser video, but stay tuned for more videos coming out, and make sure to subscribe to my channel so you get notified when the next video is dropping. Okay, so that was it for me today. I'll be back shortly with round number 1, so stay tuned. Goodbye.